guys back because, the standard's already set. Practice can be intense already. We already have a standard here, championship culture. So we really wanted to work on the little things and really work on our chemistry, getting our chemistry tighter because we feel like that's what, kept us in those close games and we were able to pull it out. Us just knowing each other on the field. So I think we did those things well while, trying to see what the new guys can do, offense, defense, how they can fit in, things of that nature. So I think all the things that we wanted to see in spring ball, we got.
Is the intensity and the hunger where it needs to be?
Yeah, it is. It is. Guys like me, we haven't made it yet. We're not where we want to be. A lot of guys, everybody on our team is, we're a pack of underdogs that came together, to prove everybody wrong. So, it's still the same thing here. Last year was last year's team. It's moved on 0-0. So, we're going to use this chemistry, spring ball, going into the summer, get big, strong, fast, get ready for fall camp, and then, come out here.
How are the new guys integrating with the system? Coach Hines said it can be harder for guys to unlearn what they learned in previous programs, but how are they adapting to this?
Yeah, and I think our coaches do a good job of understanding that. Me being a guy coming from different programs, different terminology, things of that nature, but I think our coaches do a good job of adapting to our new players, trying to figure out faster ways for them to learn, maybe something that they heard at the other school that's similar, things of that nature. So, but I think, we've done a pretty good job. I think everybody's picked up the playbook, and when you have that standard where it's like, this is how it's got to be done, this is how it's supposed to be, this is the bare minimum, which is very high, which we said, I feel like it's able to get people to flow and learn quick as possible.
To piggyback off that, when you look at, Coach talked about the young guys, like stepping up to the challenge, and obviously, having to think about the playbook a lot more than it becoming reaction, but those young guys, especially in the secondary, how do you feel that they grew in responding to the challenge?
I think they responded well because, when you got, especially defensively, when you got 10 guys back, the coaches put a lot of pressure on us and we put a lot of pressure on them as far as calls and things of that nature. We kind of already know why we're doing it and what we're doing, so we're diving into why we're doing this, why we're doing that, things of that nature, and it forces the young guys, to get up on our level, whether we all the calls that we running, going through our menu and stuff, having them learn and be in those situations. So, if they do get that opportunity, like next man up, that they're able to, play at the same standard. So holding everybody to the same accountability, same standard is really big here.
How great can this defense be, just given what you said about 10 guys back, a lot of backups, everything?
We've been having talk. We felt like we played some good defense last year, but with 10 guys back, we expect to be nothing less than, top 10, and we're going to really, hold each other accountable. We got goals. We want to be the best defense in the conference, best defense in the country, So being out here in this stadium with those guys and all those situations, going back, looking at it and like going into the summer, like, all right, what can we do to be better? How can we take control of the situation? So we're looking to stop a lot of people this year and double our turnovers from last year.
Double. Coach Ward has talked about obviously guys being flexible, but just
as far as in the defensive back room, Coach Ward, Coach BC, Coach Walker, Coach Dilly, recruiting guys that can play multiple positions, like myself and whoever's in the room. We all feel like, we're able to move around and play different spots, whether it's corner, safety, nickel, dime, and I think that really does develop people and get ready for the next level because, the next level, you play defensive back, you play defensive back. It doesn't matter if you're a corner, safety, nickel, and they believe on getting the best guys on the field no matter what position. So I think that definitely develops guys and gets them ready for the next level.
You want to double the takeaways?
Yeah, of course. Anytime, we feel like we got a good amount of takeaways, but, that's constantly an emphasis here. As we pride, because Ward prides himself on turnover. So, we're going to try to get as many as possible. So I'm thinking over 25 plus, 30 plus. So.
Seemed like the pass rush was there in the spring.
And I definitely think it just, with everybody playing together, last year, we were kind of trying to figure things out, trying to figure everybody out, but, just like I said, going through those games and those situations, coming back in spring ball, having summer to go over it, fall camp, I think just as a whole team, but especially defensively, that, it'll be like a freight train. We just moving, constantly just moving. All the pieces are, everybody doing their job fast as they can, and I feel like it's going to be really scary this year.
Where did you feel like, looking back at last season, that you have the most room for growth within your own game?
Everywhere. I'm really hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic. Obviously, being out the field for 1,000 days, I really honestly didn't feel like I had a good enough year, as I think I could have. So, with me, it's just about being comfortable. Once I put myself in those situations, I feel like, I always can come out on top. So, getting all those snaps last year, I feel way more confident, way more ready, to go show why I'm one of the best defensive backs in the country.